Julian, welcome. It's been reported that Wikileaks, your baby, has, in the last few years, has released more classified documents than the rest of the world's media combined. Can that possibly be true?
Yeah, can it possibly be true? It's a worry, isn't it? That the rest of the world's media is doing such a bad job that a little group of activists is able to release more of that type of information than the rest of the world press combined.
How does it work? How do people release the documents, and how do you secure their privacy?
Well, so these are, as far as we can tell, classical whistleblowers, and we have a number of ways for them to get information to us. So we use this state-of-the-art encryption to bounce stuff around the internet to hide trails, pass it through legal jurisdictions like Sweden and Belgium to enact those legal protections. We get information in the mail, the regular postal mail, encrypted or not, read it like a regular news organization, format it, which is sometimes something that's quite hard to do when you're talking about giant databases of information, release it to the public, and then defend ourselves against the inevitable legal and political attacks.
So you make an effort to ensure the documents are legitimate, but you actually almost never know who the identity of the source is.
That's right.
Is.
Yeah, very rarely do we ever know. And if we find out at some stage, then we destroy that information as soon as possible. God damn it.
I think that's the CIA asking what the code is for a TED membership. So let's take an example. Actually, this is something you leaked a few years ago. If we can have this document up. So this was a story in Kenya a few years ago. Can you tell us what you leaked and what happened?
So this is the Kroll report. This was a secret intelligence report commissioned by the Kenyan government after its election in 2004. Prior to 2004, Kenya was ruled by Daniel Arap Moi for about 18 years. He was a soft dictator of Kenya. And when Kibaki got into power through a coalition of forces that were trying to clean up corruption in Kenya, they commissioned this report, spent about £2 million on this and an associated report. And then the government sat on it and used it for political leverage over Moi, who was the richest man, still is the richest man in Kenya. It's the holy grail of Kenyan journalism. So I went there in 2007, and we managed to get hold of this just prior to the election, the national election, December 28. When we released that report, we did so 3 days after the new president, Kibaki, had decided to pal up with the man that he was going to clean out, Daniel Arap Moi. So this report then became a dead albatross around President Kibaki's neck.
And I mean, to cut a long story short, word of the report leaked into Kenya, not from the official media, but indirectly. And in your opinion, it actually shifted the election.
Yeah, so this became front page of The Guardian and was then printed in all the surrounding countries of Kenya, in Tanzania and South African press. And so it came in from the outside, and that, after a couple of days, made the Kenyan press feel safe to talk about it. And it ran for 20 nights straight on Kenyan TV, shifted the vote by 10%, according to a Kenyan intelligence report, which changed the result of the election.
Wow. So your leak really substantially changed the world.
Yep.
We're going to just show a short clip from this Baghdad airstrike video. The video itself is longer, but here's a short clip. This is intense material, I should warn you.
Once you get on, just open off.
Yeah, Roger. I see your element. You got about 4 Humvees out along this.
You're clear. All right, firing.
Line here. When the space line, let me know when you have it.
We'll shoot. Light them all up.
202 traffic, 260.
Come on, fire.
Hey, Roger.
Keep shooting. Keep shooting.
Bushmaster 2-6. We need to move time now.
All right, we just engaged all 8 individuals.
to move, but we got 13
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I was
minutes. Bypass?
God damn it, Kyle. Sorry. I hit him.
So, what was the impact of that?
The impact on the people who worked on it was severe. We ended up sending 2 people to Baghdad to further research that story. So this is just the first of 3 attacks that occur in that scene.
I mean, 11 people died in that attack, right, including 2 Reuters employees.
Yeah, 2 Reuters employees, 2 young children were wounded. There were between 18 and 26 people killed altogether.
And releasing this caused widespread outrage. What was the key element of this that actually caused the outrage, do you think?
I don't know. I guess people can see the gross disparity in force. You have guys walking in a relaxed way down the street, and then a Apache helicopter sitting up at 1 kilometre firing 30mm cannon shells on everyone, looking for any excuse to do so, and killing people, rescuing the wounded. And there was 2 journalists involved who clearly weren't insurgents because that's their full-time job.
I mean, there's been this US intelligence analyst, Bradley Manning, arrested, and it's alleged that he confessed in a chat room to have leaked this video to you, along with 280,000 classified US embassy cables. I mean, did he?
Well, we have denied receiving those cables. He has been charged about 5 days ago with obtaining 150,000 cables and releasing 50. We have released early in the year a cable from the Reykjavik US Embassy, but this is not necessarily connected. I mean, I was a known visitor of that embassy.
I mean, if you did receive thousands of US Embassy diplomatic cables...
We would have released them. Yeah.
You would?
Yeah.
Because?
Well, because these sort of things reveal what the true state of, say, Arab governments are like, the true human rights abuses in those governments. If you look at declassified cables, that's the sort of material that's there.
So let's talk a little more broadly about this. I mean, in general, what's your philosophy? Why is it right to encourage leaking of secret information?
Yeah, well, there's a question as to what sort of information is important in the world. What sort of information can achieve reform? And there's a lot of information. So information that organizations are spending economic effort into concealing, that's a really good signal that when the information gets out, there's a hope of it doing some good. Because the organizations that know it best, that know it from the inside out, are spending work to conceal it. And that's what we've found in practice, and that's what the history of journalism is.
But are there risks with that, either to the individuals concerned or indeed to society at large, where leaking can actually have an unintended consequence?
Yeah, not that we've seen anything we've released. I mean, we have a harm minimization policy. We have a way of dealing with information that has sort of personally identifying information in it. But there are legitimate secrets. You know, your records with your doctor, that's a legitimate secret. But we deal with whistleblowers that are coming forward that are really sort of well-motivated.
So they are well-motivated. And what would you say to, for example, the parent of someone whose son is out serving the US military, and he says, you know what, you've put up something that someone had an incentive to put out. It shows a US soldier laughing at people dying. You know, that gives the impression, has given the impression to millions of people around the world that US soldiers are inhuman people. Actually, they're not. My son isn't. How dare you? What would you say to that?
Yeah, we do get a lot of that. But remember, the people in Baghdad, the people in Iraq, the people in Afghanistan, they don't need to see the video. They see it every day. So it's not going to change their opinion. It's not going to change their perception. That's what they see every day. It will change the perception and opinion of the people who are paying for it all. And that's our hope.